mic. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. I hope I didn't blow out my mic.
No, I'm trying to find the stream on the YouTube to send out the link. It ain't popping up.
It should be.
Oh, it says stream 6 days ago. That's Giants Cowboys preview.
Yeah, go to it should be streaming right now because it's live on all my stuff. I can see it.
It's crazy.
You hear me? Yep.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, it says Jets versus. Okay. Yeah, Jets versus Cowboys preview.
Yeah.
For some reason, it said okay. The stream 6 days ago tripped me up. That's my bad.
We are here. Burgers and Blitzes. Can you hear
Yes,
me?
sir.
We are here. Cowboys. Now we're doing just Cowboys preview because we're midweek, but we're definitely going to talk about that beatdown because I ain't got to talk about it with you yet. What's good, Ty Condo, Rev Rebel, Matt Ice, Lee Norman, Blake A, JJ the Mime, who was JJ. Yeah. The Ninja, what's up with you, dog? Matty Ice, JJ, I gotta holler at you, dog, because you was the main one. I'm nervous, big. It didn't feel like nothing. I told you we was gonna beat them. Now I thought it was gonna be a tougher game at the end. I didn't think it was gonna be a molly whopping like it was. But talk to me, dog. We have been talking about the game. We've been talking about the matchup, and then from your eyes, what was your thoughts on the 40-0 Cowboys opening victory in New York? Sloppy weather, by the way.
I mean, could it have gone better? I really don't think so. I really don't think so. That is, I was trying, dude. I know my memory sucks, but I remember trauma. So, I'm trying to remember the good times. I do not remember a Cowboys game that was definitively over in the first quarter. That game was over. We knew it. We had them. They was on the ropes. Like, unless just something cataclysmic happened, like where we go full charger or something. There's no way we didn't come out of that without a dub, and came out clean relatively. Cooks is a little sore today. He should be all right. It's we hear Dak didn't throw it. It's just like any criticism about the game is from opposing fans because they're trying to pick holes because now your win gets scoreboarded. It ain't the win no more. Now, okay, well, Dak didn't throw a touchdown and this, that, and the other. Man, we won 40-0. 40-0. I don't give a shit if we went out there and we kicked field goals all damn day. We won 40-0. What you talking about? What you talking about?
I totally agree with you, especially because I was just telling you that I thought it was going to be a tougher game. Remember, we talked about the matchups. Tyron Smith, would he be able to turn the clock? He damn near he turned that.
If I could turn back time.
No, he turned that. he turned that clock back against Kayvon Thibodeau because I said that was my number one matchup in the game, and I didn't hear about Kayvon all night.
0. He got his goose egg. Didn't even get a pressure.
You feel me? And you didn't even have Tyler Smith in the game. Dougal came through.
Yeah, that was surprise.
You couldn't even tell Terrence Steele was hurt, and then Zach Martin. We see why you paid him, right?
Yeah.
He had a 91 rating. He didn't give up a single pressure all game.
The biggest worry going into the game was, I mean, probably the most solid part of the offense was the offensive line.
Yeah.
They were good, dude. They were good. They handled their business, and we'll get to it in a minute. Yeah.
But I mean, They handled their business, and people were like, they want to nitpick. Shout out to my dog Rev Rev. He says Tyron Smith heard me before the game. He may have, because that was the matchup for me. So maybe he did listen to it. They be silent watchers anyway. They be ghost watching. They don't be telling nobody, but they be ghost watching. But hey, if you're hearing it, I don't ever be trying to hate. I just be coming from my perspective. But you saw what he turned up. But then we talked about our running game. Tony Pollard, 14 carries, 70 yards, average 5 yards a carry. Looked good. We didn't even look. Remember when we were talking about the injury, right? You didn't even know. That was the beautiful thing. You didn't even know that was an injury right there.
No, that ties back into the offensive line. Obviously, Pollard doesn't get that, and I know we're going to get to the tight ends because,
oh my gosh, they were
hey, I'm at the risk of defending them. Those 2 Pollard touchdowns do not happen without.
They're blocking their ass off now. They're dedicated.
So, I'm trying to give them. All right, we'll get there. So
we'll get there. But we saw Tony Pollard, the offensive line, right? Rico Dowdell, even though he didn't have a lot of yards, I was excited because Rico down there.
We've been talking about, dude. How long have we been talking about that since before we heard his name? It's been like 2 years, dude. You just couldn't stay healthy.
You're finally seeing it, and I'm not hating, but that's the reason why you said, okay, Ezekiel Elliott, we can go ahead and move on now because we got a guy. He stays healthy. He can run between those tackles. He has acceleration when he gets the ball through the hole, and he runs tough in between the tackles. He can bounce it to the outside. He can catch out the backfield. He can block. I love it. I love that 1-2 combo. I think it's going to get better, especially with that offensive line when Tyler Smith gets in the game and we can really run off of those guys. You're really going to see that tough running from Rico Dowdell. So what do you think about that little performance from the running back before we hit those tight ends?
I love the lead up to the game where they were like, Tony Pollard's only expected to get 18 to 20 carries. Like that was some load management thing. And I immediately went to 20.
He can run the ball, dog.
Well, and I immediately went to 2016 Zeke and pulled it. We ran him 585,000 times. And you know what he averaged a game? About 18 to 20 carries. It's all about how you word this stuff. The narrative was crazy, man.
Exactly.
The narrative was absolutely crazy.
That's totally correct, because I remember looking at those carries, and he was never like a 22.
He'd have one big week and one for like 12.
Right.
And then, it averaged out to about 18 to 20 carries. Yeah. So, like, what were we talking about there? And then Dowdell's exactly what we were talking about, being a change of pace, give Tony Pollard. You don't want a workhorse back. You don't want that. I mean, it's nice to have, but you don't want to use him like that. You don't want to wear him down. You want him to be able to, because when them defenses get tired in January, you want that dude to have some juice left.
Right, exactly. And that's why you run the multiple backs, and that's why you got a perfect change of back. Because, see, here's the thing. We saw Ezekiel Elliott. He didn't look bad against the Patriots, but you saw the difference, in my opinion. He fumbled, but I'm just saying the burst. I could see the burst when Rico gets it, boom. You know what I'm saying? I see there's just more burst and the more long running. And so that's what you're excited about going forward. Now, let's hit those tight ends. We'll hit the receivers. Let's hit those tight ends right quick. Obviously, we had the blocking. I love how they were putting. I just got done watching all 22 again because I was watching Micah Parsons. We're going to talk about him. Woo! But when I'm talking about Hendershot and Ferguson, they dropped it, and I was frustrated because that was a touchdown. He dropped the touchdown because that was right there in the hands going in the end zone. That was a touchdown, and that was a first down by Jake Ferguson.
Dime, too. It was a dime.
It was perfect. It was a perfect in between double coverage, and it was right there. I mean, it zinged right there, and people was hating, but see, they don't talk. And my dog Ryan Clark, he brought it up. Hey, the tight ends are dropping passes when he could have had touchdowns or first downs. You could have kept moving, because remember, we had a punt on that drive, and then we went and kicked the field goal on the other one, right? So my thing is, how do you feel about the tight ends? And I mean, we know they're going to get better, but what do you think?
I think that I was listening to. Gosh damn it. Isaiah Stanback this morning, and he was talking about Kavanaugh, and he was talking about those silicone gloves they wear. and he was talking about how T.O. always wore the leather gloves because he sweat a whole bunch. And he said, when I sweat, the gloves get stickier. When I sweat in those other gloves, they turn to snot.
Really?
And I was like, oh, okay, that makes a little sense because you had that one. I know Dak had a little heat on it, but it hit. I can't remember. It was one of the Hendershot twins. It hit one of them. That one-handed tutty that he could have had the back left of the end zone.
Yeah.
It hit him right in his freaking palm, and it just squirted right out. If that was a dry condition, that Spider-Man glove that they wear these days probably sucks that thing in, and you rail it in. So that was something I was thinking about. I'm trying to give them a little bit of grace for the wet ball, and the first time, first game. No offense. I mean, I guess a couple offenses looked good this game one, but it was really inconsistent, and it wasn't based on if you played in preseason or not, because the results on that were all across the board. And I mean, look at Kansas City, look at Joe Burrow, look what they did. So the tight ends, I'm trying to give them a pass, and it sucks that it happened because Dak could have had probably 2 to 3 touchdowns, passing touchdowns, but when you win the game 40-0, and they still did their job outside, because outside of those 2 plays, you want to call it 2 plays, we call it 4 plays if you want. We call it 4 plays. Outside of those 4 plays, did they or did they not handle their business?
Yeah.
Now, if one of those 4 plays had turned into like a turnover, or points on the board, we may harp on it a little more. So I'm trying to look at it from that standpoint, with the conditions, with it being game 1, all that taken into account, they still did the vast majority of their job correctly, which is the entire reason they're kind of here. They know that neither one of those dudes are pass catching, go out wide tight ends, which is, not what they want. So, don't let it happen again, please.
Right.
Let's get back to Dallas and get in that dome, get some dry weather, and see what happens.
Yeah, and then plus I think Dak is the type of guy that when he's seen that, he's going to come back to you. He's going to, he might come to you early in the game, kind of get you right, because he'll remember that what happened last week. But I want to ask you the big question. I want to ask you is, and Shotty and McCarthy, what do you think about that offense? How they called the game and how it looked, and the situation.
I think they had like 34 total snaps. So I mean, there's the small sample size that what it is. I mean, they were leaning on the run game. The passes that they tried, they never really got rolling. I don't think we saw it. I think
the weather really messed it up.
I think the one thing we did see was the outside zone blocking scheme that I didn't think they were going to do. They were doing it. That's where both those Pollard touchdowns came off of. So,
and it looks like that's going to be good too, especially with Pollard being able to come like, oh, that's Pollard's game.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's the smart game. It's any running back's game. Why are you going to initiate? You want your running back to go as long as he can without having an instance of contact. However long you can get him rolling before he has to either avoid or initiate contact is the key to a run game. That's why the offensive line works well. That's why the outside zone's so key. That's why RPOs are killer. Before that running time before you get to contact is crucial, absolutely crucial. Versus slamming Zeke up the A gap, and
yeah, and it just looks like the more it just comes. I just feel like the more they're getting. Number one to me, I just felt like Dak was in command, even when he wasn't. The pass single. It just looked like he was calm.
My dude was locked.
He just looked calm and control of that offense. Like, I don't know, dog. And that's what got me excited. Like, even though I wasn't. Man, I don't know how to really explain it, Mike.
I know what you're thinking.
You know exactly what it's like. Okay,
he's not caught between burning his friend and doing marching orders. It's his offense.
Yes, it finally
McCarthy,
like it's his.
McCarthy ain't over there going hamburger out right, 94 dash left quarter apostrophe extra ketchup. No, Dak's getting to the line. Baez knows enough about football now that he's setting the checks
Now Dak could focus on the coverages and the routes instead of spending 35 seconds sitting there hot route and fixing all the audibles and fixing the coverage.
It's a combination of the things. So that's what it is. I mean, because we've talked about it for years. Dak and football players in general, for better or worse, are marching order guys. That's what they are. We saw old ketchup bottle dude come in here and ruin what was a Hall of Fame line with his blocking technique. And like, well, coach said this is the way we were going to do it, so this is how we're going to do it. So now he has, until the reins get pulled back, which may or may not happen. We're one game in. Let's see what happens, because what really made me happy, honestly, the offensive performance. It's going to sound silly. The offensive performance from the final preseason game, meant more to me than the one from week 1. Because Dak was calling that offense the entire game.
Yes. I'm glad you brought that up, because a lot of people forget that. And notice it was the last preseason game, and we go right into week 1, and he's looking dialed in. He's looking dialed in. Like, this is my offense. This is mine. I just did it last week.
You see the look on the whole.
He just looked. No, I want to say one thing before you say something. This is the first time, and I am not hyping this. I'm not a hype guy. I don't hype. I ain't a hype guy. I'm a realist. When I looked at Dak, I said, damn, dog, this is the first time I looked at you, and I'm like, you calm. Because I would look at Dak and just from me, and I'd be like, he be calm, but I'd be feeling things like I don't feel like you.
Well, I've talked about it for years, being in a rhythm. He came out and he hit the first play like he was in a rhythm already, like he'd already had a successful series, which I'm sure, touching the ball for the first time when you're already 16 points up has a lot to do with that.
But it's still his first snap of the season. And he looked like he'd already had that,
7 for 10 for a touchdown and 85 yards through 2 drives type look up. Exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
My man, that little pregame interview that old girl tried to pull, he didn't hear a word that girl said.
He wasn't. Yeah.
It takes a while, man. It takes like being an NFL quarterback.
But it also takes the right coach too.
Yes. It's being an NFL quarterback is really, really hard. I feel like it's odd that we have to stay that constantly, but look what Josh Allen's going through right now. He don't suck. Josh Allen don't suck. He's a damn good quarterback, but he's going through it right now.
But that coaching ain't reining him in too.
No, what's he supposed to do? Go out there and tackle him?
No, but you don't throw that long pass when you
bench his ass is what you do. You bench his ass in that game is what you do. But then you have all the drama behind that.
Right.
I would have, because dude, you're losing your mind out there. And then you saw that post game. I actually felt bad for Josh Allen. That post game, he's like, I did it again. I did it again. I went out there and ruined the game.
And
ain't nobody feeling sorry for him because you making all them commercials though.
Nope. Not at all. Hey, Joe Burrow went out there. He a $55 million a year quarterback. Went out there and had 90 yards.
Yeah. I don't feel sorry for no Josh Allen.
This game is hard. This game. Fucking Mahomes just lost to the fighting Dan Campbells, man. I mean, this game's hard. And
teams are getting better too.
Yes, and when you don't give these dudes time, especially, I hate to bring it up, but it's not an excuse, it's the fact of the matter. Dak got drafted in the 4th round for a reason. He wasn't this Trevor Lawrence pedigree. He wasn't the Andrew Luck pedigree. He wasn't Joe Burrow, 28 years old, coming out in his 14th year of college pedigree.
He was a 4th round sandlot quarterback who, when it come to shove,
could make a play. Then you got to learn how to actually play the game at the next level.
And then they figure you out. Then you adjust to that. And then in Dak's case, he got the yips beat into him in 2017
which probably stunted him by 2 years. Because I know for a fact he was seeing stars all the way through that summer. I know for a fact that. The man got concussed in that Atlanta game. And it took him a long, long time to recover from that. And I don't think any other quarterback in the history of the NFL was pulled out of the yips. But speaking of the yips, I hope we didn't beat those into Daniel Jones because he seems like a good kid. But this quarterback game is hard, and it's finally, I say finally, this is about the time it happens. It seems like it's slowing down for Dak, and he's settling in, and he's at peace, and he doesn't have that power struggle above him where it's it's, you know, hey, we got to get Zeke in there, we got to get this, we got to, it's you know, everybody in the chat right now has had managers where you get told, they're all your boss, and you get told 3 or 4 different things the same damn day on how to do the same damn project a different way. Imagine now, stack that on to be an NFL quarterback. That's the McCarthy and Kellen Moore divorce needed to happen. Regardless how you feel, it was just time to go split that up. Let's streamline this process. There's too many Chiefs, not enough Indians, man. And now we're seeing, like, tying back into preseason game 3, what this offense is going to look like, which is really promising. And Dak being locked in, man, I ain't seen him like that.
I haven't seen him like that. I'm telling you, when he had his helmet off and I was looking at him, I was like, damn, this is the first time I really seen the game really slow. It just looked like in his eyes. So I'm even more excited about it because I can't wait. I ain't even trying to talk to none of these other teams, no nothing. It's all about Dallas now because I don't need to deal with y'all. It's all about Dallas because if Dallas handles their business, they're gonna win. Plain and simple. We stay healthy. Dallas, you play your game, we're gonna win. That's the way I feel now. Don't have no indecisiveness because I know we got the defense, and that's where we're gonna jump right to.
It's just the whole team. It's the whole team.
Damn team. But that defense,
We've talked about it. Dude. We've been doing this pod since before. This ain't a shot. This ain't a shot in the chat. But everybody gets really mad when I talk about this dude. Lawrence ain't the leader that people want him to be.
I've been saying that.
We have. It's not a shot at him.
No,
he's loud. He's loud. There's a difference of being loud and being a leader. Micah Parsons has full control. He's had it since his rookie year. Full control of that defensive locker room. And then Micah Parsons and his entire summer, just like Dak does, getting better. What can I do? What little 5%, what little 0.5%, what little move can I learn? Let's try boxing. Let me go hang out with Von Miller. Let me go hang out with Whitworth. Let me go hang out with Trent and them. Let me do what I can do so I have my side of the room. And then those dudes combined, when you have those 2 dudes combined on a team, when your leaders are not going to get outworked by anybody in that room, and they have full control, and they got it locked in. You believe every word they say.
And they have the talent.
Either one of those dudes could tell you that you could walk through that pile of gasoline right now and fire and come out all right on the other side, and you would believe it because that's what they're here for. And the way this team talks, it's just a job. When I mean that in the coolest sense, it's like, hey, we're going out there, we're gonna handle it. We know we're good. We're gonna get after the ass. We're gonna make plays, and we're gonna get the dub. And when we go home, that's what we're gonna do. And that's the story. That's exactly the story.
Yeah.
Like people say, sorry. Go ahead, Bo.
No, I was just bouncing off you.
Yeah.
What's up, Ed? What's up, everybody? But just bouncing off you. Shout out to my guy who just said he loved the show. God's child, appreciate you. He said he loved the show. We love you over there as well. Shout out to you, Ed. She goes hard in the paint. Make sure when she jump in here and she say get them likes up, you better do what she say. That's all I'm gonna tell you. And Jay Lombardi, my dog. But everything that you said, I 100% agree. Because like I said, I made a Micah Parsons video. Dog, okay. I just want to tell you something, all right? I've been around football, basketball. I've been around sports all my life, and I know when
we some old heads. We some old heads.
I ain't bragging. I know talent. I know talent from high school. I scouted it. I coached it. You know, I know how to scout talent. I may not know all the X's and O's of coverages, everything like that, but I know how to scout talent, and I know talent. And I was watching Micah Parsons' game, and dog, he was doing some stuff like he did this one move. Offensive lineman was coming at him. He just did this, Mike. He just did this quick shake, and I'm like, okay, that's when somebody knows he's sweet. That's when somebody knows I'm so good you can't touch me.
That's that Myles Garrett doing the crossover.
Yeah, that's what it is. Now you can't guard me. I'm playing with you. I'm just trying to do some moves to see if I can get that.
Now I'm breaking you down mentally because you can't touch me, dude. I'm breaking you down mentally. You can't touch me.
Dog. Remember his first couple of years when he was coming in, he knew his hands, but he didn't know his hands. When I seen them hands come and just getting them off of him, like he's playing with them, dog. He's playing with them right now. He knows what he's doing. Like he said, I'm setting you up now. I just want to see if I can get that off. Let me see if I can get that off on you. I can. I'm gonna just do this move 5 times on you now. You feel me? When you're doing that to a player, it's over.
An NFL player, like, and he wasn't going
against no slouch.
No, that was it. All Pro Thomas. All Pro Thomas. Pro Bowler. They said it's like the next great. He was working him. He had him holding him. You could see Thomas was jumping back. They was double teaming. They had one play where they was triple team. Dog, they was doing everything possible because once he got over and did a couple moves, they slid protection.
Mm-hmm.
What's good, Vondell?
He's
different, dog.
And I talked about it, how I retweeted that clip, after the game where Micah Parsons, I forget who he was sitting down with. He goes, I don't even know how to pass rush yet. I'm just out there living on natural ability. And that was in August of 22 is when that was. And look what he went and got with a box. And imagine the power that dude has. I don't care if you're 240 pounds or 340 pounds. The power that dude has in learning how to position his hips and his head movement with the box and stuff, and he frogs you right in the inside of your forearm. But you try to long arm him, and he's just gonna frog you right on the inside of your forearm. That ain't gonna feel good. You ain't gonna want that again. And he's gonna do it again and again and again, and uppercut you right in that right in the meat of that forearm. And then guess what? You ain't gonna want to do that anymore. I gotta figure out, see if I can shuffle step.
And now,
see if I can. Yeah, now it's like the leg kicks in the MMA. How many of those leg kicks you gonna take before you stop sticking that leg out there? You stick that leg out there. Every time you stick that leg out there, boy, I'm gonna snap it. Every time you stick that leg out there, I'm gonna snap it. It's amazing, dude. He's really taken his game, which I didn't. I guess I thought it was possible, but I didn't know it was possible. Like, to take his game to another level, and he has. He was an absolute force. That dude, they probably could have played with 8 men on defense and still won that damn game, just because that's how good he was.
Yeah, he's a menace. And you know what else I love about it? Our defense is so good. We have so many players, and Donovan Wilson and Jordan Lewis and Overshawn Woody. Those guys didn't even play. And listen, hold up. I already know. But here is the thing. What I love about it is Quinn can sit him out and rest him. Remember we were talking about, so when it's at the end of the year, he ain't going to be tired. And when your offensive lineman is beat up and tired, and you got a healthy, fresh Micah Parsons coming at you in them playoffs, y'all in trouble, dog. It's going to be
he was dragging his leg the last half of the year. Because
he was tired.
Yeah.
That's why he trained like no other this year. I'm not going to be tired again. He was telling himself that I'm not going to be tired like that.
He did the opposite of Luka. He's out there getting trimmed up. That dude, I seen him the other day. And I just happened to be eating at a spot that he came through. That dude's big. That dude big. And for his size, like, he's not a big dude, but he's almost like a bigger Tyreek Hill. He just rocked up, and you know that when he hits you,
He's solid.
it's gonna hurt, dude. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt bad.
Yeah, I mean,
because he don't have the 77-inch wingspan. He don't got all that. He was supposed to be an outside linebacker,
right?
Inside linebacker. Actually, they turned him to an outside linebacker. Now
he don't have long arms.
Now he's just a damn pass rusher. It's amazing, man. And now that we have, it's kind of funny. You talk about the safeties. How do we go in like 2 short years from having like one safety on the roster to having enough that we could possibly trade one of the guys for an for an offensive lineman or something like that? And what are they going to do with? I mean, I'm assuming they can't keep. I don't know. That's going to be interesting what they do with Wilson and Lewis, trying to get them back into the roster. On the game day roster, and
I don't know how they're gonna do Jordan Lewis. Well, it's really maybe they'll figure it out. But that Wanye Thomas and Marquise Bell can't come off that field.
No, and they play special teams. They play special teams. Donovan Wilson don't play special teams.
You feel me?
He don't.
You feel me? And
special teams. Special teams won that game for you.
Those two are animals. And I'm gonna give a shout out because we're gonna talk about. But shout out to my guy
Wanye Thomas. That's about protect that man at all costs. That man is playing with a heavy heart and a backstory that I can't deny. And I love every bit of it, dude. I want that dude to have nothing but the best.
Oh, he is. You can tell this is his dream, and he's playing it like this is his dream. He has the talent, and he's playing it like this is his dream, dog. He is different. And shout out to my guy Big Red 243 says, "Hey James, I came here to tell you. I told you got Tyron Smith messed up some damn Kayvon Thibodeau." That was just a good game, big dog. And Tyron Smith, I ain't taking nothing away from Tyron Smith.
There's another 16.
But don't play Kayvon Thibodeau like he's weak, dog. Don't do that because he's good. He's a damn good player. He had the fountain of youth. And guess what? Our team is just so damn good. Maybe Tyron Smith is like, I got to stay healthy because I believe we're going to be good. That does happen too, Mike.
Mm-hmm.
That happens. I'll say this, Mike, because I've seen it before in real life many a times. Hurt guys all the time. Might have talent. Hurt all year, man. Every year hurt. But sometimes when you have that right team, they stay healthy because they're like, okay, this is real. I can't miss this. You feel me? And maybe that could be going on with some Tyron Smith. I don't know because it's early and he did go out a little bit, ankle, whatever, because he already had a little bum ankle. But my thing is this, when you have a team, and I really believe like this is a real team. Me and you talked about, you said, I'm nervous, dog. I feel why you was nervous because you know, and I know we don't want to say anything, but we actually feel like this is a real Super Bowl team. Now, and 2 years ago, I said it with 2021. I feel even better about it now because Kellen Moore is gone. And I said we had the talent to go to the Super Bowl, and this could be a Super Bowl team. We just remember when we did our show on 2021, we said we got to get past. If we get past San Francisco in 2021, we're going to the Super Bowl.
That's true.
What we said.
That was true.
That was true. But then we saw when they came out, okay, we're getting our ass kicked.
They came out with that damn ghetto blaster, and I said, "Oh goddamn!"
Yeah, and well, when Jimmy Garoppolo was yelling at the crowd, I was like, "Oh, we're about to lose." I just felt that. You know what I'm saying? But I knew we had the talent. But we both said if we get past them, we can go to Super Bowl. I don't care who it is down this year. That's the way I feel about this team. We could just get past. No, I don't care who it is. We can beat them. We play our game.
There's a big difference in being the Homer Cowboy fan saying, "Oh, this is our year. This is our year. This is our year. This is our year."
I mean,
I'm saying that this is the best shot I've seen. That doesn't mean it's your year. Doesn't mean it's your year. Shit happens. You could lose 3 linemen next week. You could lose Dak next week. You could lose Trayvon Diggs and Gilmore next week. Micah Parsons could go down. Like, it's a long season. But as we stand right now, this is, even before we played the last game, this is the best shot on paper that I can remember. Because I didn't feel good about everybody was talking about 2014. Didn't feel good about that defense.
No.
Ware had his neck thing, and it was Sean Lee was whatever. Like, this is a legit defense, a legit good special teams unit, and you have Dak coming in locked in with receivers he absolutely trusts, and an offensive line we hope can hold together. But even if they don't, Dak is one of, if not the best active quarterback in the NFL at sack avoidance with his audibles and the time to throw. He was by far the fastest time to throw last week, by the way. Even with that protection, it was 2.11 seconds, 2.11 seconds.
He's one of the least sacked quarterbacks, the last few years.
Yep.
And that's because of him.
He cut his sacks in half and never looked back. I've talked about it ad nauseum. Next to, and I am not kidding when I say this, next to Peyton Manning, he is probably the best pre-snap quarterback as far as picking stuff up and avoiding sacks that I've seen. He is really the most underrated part of this game. And then we get at the end of the year, it's like, offense. Look again, Dallas had a top 10 offensive line. It's like, well, he was saving their ass. Russell Wilson never had a good line. Well, because he takes 4 and 5 second sacks and doesn't check his reads, and he's been doing it forever. There's sacks are a quarterback stat. Sacks mean more to quarterbacks than they do to edge rushers. Period. That's how sacks are a quarterback stat. Now, edge rushers need to finish the play. We've talked about this ad nauseum with Lawrence, and if you want to be a premier edge rusher, you've got to be clocking 7+ a year. It's just the way it goes. But when your quarterback is as good as his 4 is at pre-snap and checking his hot routes and shit, it makes the line look better than it is, which is a good thing.
Right. Well, people keep on asking about Brandon Cooks. What's going on with Brandon Cooks?
He's sore. He's taking a vet day. He's taking a vet day.
That's what I heard. It's nothing serious.
He played 34 snaps in the game, and a lot of them were go routes. And he's 30 years old, and he didn't get any preseason action. And why does he need to go out there to the walkthrough on Tuesday? It ain't even a real practice. Just ice up, get you stretching in, work on some bands, watch you some film. We'll catch you tomorrow. And if he is a little banged up, that's the way it goes. But it's not. It's nothing that's going to keep. I would be absolutely floored if it comes out that he's not practicing Friday.
Right. And plus, one of the things you complimented Mike McCarthy on is those 6 days.
6 days.
He keeps those players fresh. He keeps them right. He keeps them good. Great training. We got one of the best in Britt Brown as well. He's one of the best trainers out there.
Mr. Miyagi.
You feel me? So, they're smart about it. And I trust them, especially with Britt. What I've been seeing of him, they really know how to work those injuries. They really know how to do it. So I'm good. But
if y'all remember, Micah Parsons has been shut down by McCarthy during the training camp because the GPS numbers are too high, and he got mad at him. Micah Parsons was mad as hell because he couldn't practice. McCarthy, I don't care. Sit down. None of this don't count. This don't. You're not. He did it. He's done it to Lamb. He's done it to Diggs. He did it to Pollard. If that dude 6 days a week is one of, if not the most proactive, preventative, player-conscious coach in the league, the way he handles these guys. And I really will always appreciate that about them. That's why it's so hard for me to go hard on him when he goose up a game, because he's so good 6 days a week.
Yeah, well, he looked good on that 7th this past Sunday, and we definitely want to see more. Yeah. You feel me? Coming
absolutely,
thing. And that's a great segue. That's a great segue. That was a perfect segue to these Jets. So got the lineup right quick, Big Mike. Obviously, we know our guys. But what do you kind of think about the Jets? First of all, we know about the injury. We'll talk about that right quick. But what's your kind of thoughts on that Jet team as a whole? And, kind of how do you feel about them in this game?
The only thing that scares me now is that interior defensive line, because they're good, man. They're good. And I'm not worried about the corners and the safeties, because honestly, I don't even want Dak to play this game. I want them to run 40, 50 times I'm
Right.
not worried about Zach. I am not worried about Zach Wilson going out there and beating you. Not worried about that.
Not with this
Just
defense.
no. Mm-mm. I'm not. I like hell. If Tyler Smith is even kind of feeling, go ahead and sit him down too. Let him get another week.
Right.
I'm dead serious about that. I am not remotely. I'm worried about that man right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but you know what? We were worried about, but he's a different monster than Leonard Williams. Leonard Williams is pretty good though. But for some reason, Mike, I feel like they're going to be okay, and it's not being cocky with it, not at all, because that man right there is an absolute animal. You feel me?
It ain't this ain't no different than playing like the Ravens without Lamar Jackson or something like that, where you got this elite defense, and as long as you don't go out there and lose the game, you're gonna be all right.
And that's what it's gonna be.
If you want to put it on the table, Cowboys defense better than Jets.
Who?
Even if the Cowboys defense is better than the Jets,
it's way better than the Jets, dog.
That's what I'm saying. That's what
I'm saying. Even if the quarterbacks were level, even if Zach Wilson had a chance to be in Dak Prescott, Cowboys defense better. So worst case Ontario, you go out there and win this game by 10 points. Mm-hmm. So just don't screw it up. Don't get out there. I don't want to hear the Dak interception narrative. I don't want to be forcing the ball.
Right.
Go out
right. You don't need to.
And there's going to be something to this, and I've been noticing it. I've been noticing it for about the past year and a half with NFL defenses in general. And I really noticed it week one. I'm just harping on it. The amount of cover two that teams are playing, because if you want to call it the Mahomes effect, you can, but the amount of cover two these teams are playing, and they're giving up that interior zone, that intermediate interior zone, and the run game sets them up perfectly to just let Dak throw a couple, get that Drew Brees game going with, if everybody wants to talk about this West Coast or Texas Coast offense, where it's a lot of slants and crossers and intermediate game, it's going to perfectly mesh with how defenses are now playing the football. We saw it happen when nobody respected Zeke anymore. It was cover two, and all they had was Amari Cooper or CeeDee Lamb. They didn't work the inside of the field. They didn't adjust to that, and I think that is up for the taking. Hell, trying to think who it was. It was driving me nuts. They had interior. It was the Thursday opener.
Jets. I mean, not Jets. Lions and Chiefs.
Yeah.
And Ben Johnson kept throwing those out routes. Kept calling those out routes and digs and stuff on the outside sidelines. And that interior middle zone was open all day long. And Goff was nailing those crossers and slants and absolutely slaying them. And that is how the modern NFL defense plays, is that cover two with that, you got that belly, if you will, right there in the middle of the defense. And if you can adjust the plays to get your players in that zone, you can eat these guys up at 6 to 10 yards of play all day long. Yeah. The days of, and then when you suck them down, you can go for that 35-40, that 25-40, whatever you want to call it. Anything over 15 is a really long pass. But get those guys sucked up, and then you can go for that. But the days of that constant, 20 to 25 yards a pop, it's kind of over. Mm-hmm. Even with Mahomes, you saw it. Mm-hmm. I mean, I know he doesn't have Tyreek Hill. Hell, even with Tua, they're not throwing bombs because for one, they'll outrun his ball. But
they work that middle though. They work the hell out of that middle.
It's the Kyle Shanahan offense. It's what excuse me. That Bonky G worked that intermediate zone because they know that cover. If you want to back up, you want to play cover two. Sure, we'll take this 6 and 7 yards all day long. Because you know what 6 yards, 2 plays in a row is? A first down.
Right.
I don't care about ANYA or anything like that. Let's go get some yak. Let the Cowboys be top 5 in yak for once instead of Dak being top 5 in air yards.
Right. This should definitely be dump off game, short passing game, hit him over in the slants, digs, come back. It's okay because, like I said, we just need to work. We can work. We don't. The biggest thing to me in this game is you don't need to force nothing in this game.
No, don't give the ball to them.
Let it come naturally, and you're gonna whoop their ass. In my opinion, if you let it come naturally, you're gonna blow these boys out. If you want to get to trying to forcing it and doing things, y'all and everybody know, we all know what we're talking about at this, Mike. You feel me? We know exactly what we're feeling like. Don't do it. Resist the urge to feel like we want to kill these boys right off the rip because we got to prove to the world what the Giants game was a fluke. That's what that was a good one, Mike. That's what I think we need to protect ourselves against. Don't feel the need because we won 40-0 against the Giants that you got to come out here because you've been hearing the noise about the offense. You want to come out here and start doing. You don't got to. You don't got to, Mike.
I want Dak to pull up to the 4-way stop with his yellow vest on and that big yellow bus and swing that door open and say, "Come on, boys, get in. We're going to the dub." And then close that bus door and take them right to victory lane. I don't care if the man has 6 passes for 4 completions and 18 yards. I don't care. I don't think he doesn't need to go out there. You don't need to risk the ball. That's the only way that the Jets have a chance in this game is you give them the ball. Don't give them the ball. Period. And you win this game by 10, which is a blowout.
Yeah.
10 in the NFL is a blowout, despite popular belief.
Yeah.
That's a 2-possession game. Over 90% of the games in the NFL are decided by 1 possession or less. You win by 10 points, it's a blowout.
And I think we get a lot more. We can get turnovers in this game. That's where I feel like we can really get turnovers in this game. Attack this dude.
Dude, their offensive line is garbage.
I mean, they got
their offensive line is garbage. Like,
and both of their tackles are hurt.
Yeah.
You got Becton was the monster guy, 6'7", 363. He was the guy that everybody was talking about, but injuries have zapped him, and he's hurt again. And then if you go onto the other side, they got Brown. What Brown is this? Is that the one Brown that they traded for?
No, they didn't. Wish I could tell you.
I'm waiting for
I'd be more familiar with the Jets if they were half decent.
They're not bad, dog.
Dude, hey, here's the thing. I didn't get the hype behind them. Dwayne Brown's garbage. I didn't get the hype behind them even after the Rodgers deal. All of a sudden, they got Rodgers and acted like they were 7 wins better than they should be. That's not how the NFL works. If adding a quarterback made you that much better, or having an elite quarterback made you that much better, Peyton Manning would have 5 or 6 rings. Instead, he ran up against a better team every playoffs in the AFC Championship game with Tom Brady, and it took him. He had to go to Denver to get a second. The Cowboys are a better team. Even when they had Rodgers,
I'm gonna be. I'm feeling you. I'm upset that Rodgers is not playing. I wanted him.
Dude, I can't. God damn it, man! I was looking.
What? I circled this game because I was
looking forward to seeing that dude pick himself up off the turf 13 fucking times. I was
interceptions. We would have been all over Aaron Rodgers, dog. Like, we would have been all over him because we would have had that motivation. You don't think the team wouldn't have remembered because for Coach McCarthy that we should have won that damn game and we get to see him again with the Jets uniform? It was only right, especially what we did to Tom Brady when you came over to the Buccaneers and we finally got you. This was going to be that type of game in my opinion.
If you think Mike McCarthy didn't want to go out there and run about 45 on
What? What?
Aaron Rodgers made that man's life hell for like 10
made his life hell. You feel me? Man,
you finally got a chance for that get back, and they stole it from you.
Man, dog, I don't even want to talk about that game again because that just pissed me off. That just pissed me off. When he threw down the headset, that's when you know it was real, right? That's when you knew it was real. That's when you knew it meant something. When he threw down the headset in that game, that's when you know it. That's when you know it meant something.
Oh, it's just another game. Like,
No, it ain't just you
they
had
just
circled, you had been worried, and you was feeling good 28th. Oh, dog. That's why he said, Kellen Moore, you got to go, dog. You got to go now. That was the Kellen Moore game. You got to go.
yeah, it's man, it's should be fun. You know, I hope Zach Wilson survives, and I just want to make it out of this game. I want to make it out of this game injury free. Like I want to make it out of any game injury free.
That's my only thing that's stopping.
But I hate these trap games, and it's not. When I call it a trap game, it's not that I fear losing. I call it a trap game because there's nothing worse than when you go out there and you play a meaningless game, and you lose 2 or 3 of your best players for a month or 6 weeks of the season. That's what I and that's happened to Dallas years and years and years and years and years and years and years.
But I'm gonna speak against that because we've the last couple of years been relatively healthy. Besides that 2020, and that 2020 season was just wonky and funky. But ever since 2020, the next 2 years, I know we lost Gallup, and I know we lost Jarwin, but that was 2020. But I think we haven't been like devastated with injuries. You feel me? I think
it's always been at the worst spot at the worst possible time late down the season.
Right,
is when it happens.
I'm gonna just go ahead.
Like when we lost Tyron Crawford going into the playoffs in 2019, and Tyron Crawford's a replacement level tackle, and we lost him, and then the Rams went and put 235 on us in the playoffs on the ground, and he probably could have helped stop that. It's just it always happens at the worst possible or weakest possible spot at the worst possible time.
Well, I'm speaking against that. So I'm speaking against that. That's not going to happen this year. And I'm just going to speak against it. I know we already lost Overshown, but I'm just going to speak against it because you know what? It could happen, but I can still speak against it. And that's what I want because when people ask me all the time, what's your thoughts about the team and, what do you think one thing that's going to stop us? Number one is health. I don't feel like anything else is going to stop us. I feel like we can get on our own way, but I feel like the team is mature enough now. It's been around each other enough now to understand each other now, and the coaching cohesion is finally there. And I feel like now they feel like there's an understanding. And as I said before, we got a guy named Micah Parsons who everything and all he talks about is a Super Bowl. He don't talk about nothing else. He just talks about, I want a Super Bowl. I want a championship. And when you have that type of leader on your team who's always speaking on that and ain't talking about nothing else, it makes you say, well, if I can't be the one that's being the weak link, you feel me?
And Dak can't come out and say that. He can't say that as the quarterback of the Dallas
and that's why it's perfect that you got Micah Parsons. That's why it's perfect because Dak is that ultimate spokesperson.
Peyton Manning.
And Micah Parsons that dog. I'm speaking my mind. I'm saying whatever, and a lot of it be true. But he gives that added element of let's go. I mean, he just is different, and I love it. And I feel so good about this team, man. And do you have a score prediction for this game, or anything like that?
I win by 10. Win by 10. The spread's 9.5.
I'm gonna say 24-13.
I would like to see the offense get going a little bit,
maybe 31.
But I don't want to.
This might be a Michael Gallup game.
I don't want the offense to get going. And in the light of risking the ball, if they just, I don't want it to be heat check throws and Dak force it on a third down. If they get, they get a little 6-yard outside run off Pollard, and then they catch a little 4-yard screen on second, convert it to third. Now they're first down again, and they just kind of work down the field like that. I don't want it to be the live and die by third down offense, and that would make me really happy. Because I'm tired of live and die by third down. I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of Dak being, even behind, like, in his quote-unquote bad game. Y'all know that Dak, I know it's a small sample size, but Dak right now is second in the league in EPA on dropbacks on third down without throwing a touchdown last week because 2 of them got dropped, with 1 of them being on third down. So, he's ready. And as long as the offense is ready, I'm not worried. I famous last words, right? It's an NFL game, any
Right.
given Sunday and this, that, and the other. But you're playing Zach Wilson with Micah Parsons and them with a bad offensive line and Dak Prescott. You should win. You should win this game. You should win this game unless you go out there and beat yourself.
That's the only way you lose. Period. My opinion. Only way you lose, you beat yourself in this game. And don't do it, Dallas, because show your maturity. Show your maturity in these games, because this is where you show you're mature, Dallas. This is where you show you're a championship, Dallas, because you don't go fall for the letdown. Because so many people be like, see, y'all talk about their Super Bowl team and look what happens. This is what
that narrative be so bad. Did they go out there?
It'll be terrible. So Cowboys, play smart, play mature. That's what I'm gonna just keep on saying, Mike. That's my word of the day. Play mature football out there, responsible football. You play mature, responsible football out there, then this game is not gonna be a problem, and we move on to the next week. Period.
And that's that.
Anything else before you get out? We get off here, big dog.
I'm gonna go make a Mexican pizza and have me some dinner. So
I
appreciate everybody swinging by. This Wednesday kicks hell of a lot nicer of a vibe, hell of a lot easier to pull off on my end for sure. Long work days on Monday. So
and like I said, we got midweek because we can talk about the end, and then we're going into the new game. So and it's hump day,
Monday Night Football and all that.
Yeah. So it's happy hump day, and that's where you always be seeing burgers and blitzes going down. So awesome for first week, 40-0. Like I said, responsible, mature football. We do the same thing to these Jets. You feel me? So with that being said, big dog, I'll holler at you. Check them out on Twitter. You see the Twitter handle at the bottom at not2betripe, PayPal, all that. Check it out. You see Big Game James right there. DC4L, that's the PayPal over there. If you'd like to donate, check them out right there. You can rewind.
I ain't made a dime off this, by the way. So
you know what I'm saying? We got bills to pay. Nobody, it's rough out in these streets right now. It's rough in these streets right now. Trust me, it's real rough. Boothang, no, it's rough in these streets right now. But we appreciate everybody who was in the building. We're up to 170 in the building. Appreciate everybody on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Make sure you hit and smash the like button on the YouTube, the Facebook, and the Twitter, and make sure you give a like and a follow and continue support for Burgers and Blitzes. We will see you next Wednesday. For my dog Mike White, Big Game James, we out. Peace.
Appreciate y'all.
Appreciate you. Oh, I gotta leave it with, but how about my Cowboys? You know, we gotta go out with that. I ain't playing nothing else the whole damn year. I don't give a hell. I'm not playing nothing else because there ain't nothing else to be playing. It's how about them damn Cowboys? You feel me? That silver and blue done did it again. We done did it again, dog. We just did it again. Feel me? Just did it again. So. Get him, Etta.
One hell of a job, and the only thing else I got to say is, how about them Cowboys?
How about them Cowboys? Click like Power Boys. Make you say wow boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Big game, first name James. He interview, he called the games. Silver blue, you know the name from the Emmitt Smith to the Michael Irv. We beating skins, shooting birds. I see a bank and snatch it out his fur. Favorite team on the planet Earth, from Monday night to Sunday church. DJ putting in the work. I'm tuning in, no need to search. Through thick and thin and good and worse. Them Cowboys, click like Power Boys. Make you say wow boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the goddamn, they did it again. How about them Cowboys? Click like Power Boys. Make you say wow boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs, and the Towel Boys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that silver and blue done did it again. LBs and the Cowboys. You tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the team that win. Tuning in to the goddamn, they did it again. How about them Cowboys? Click clack Cowboys. Make you say wow boys from the QBs, DTs, LBs and the Cowboys. You tuning in to the team that win.